Sweat Equity Podcast. Caleb, how you feeling?
What's happening? A little sunburnt. Got a good bike ride in.
Yeah.
Feel like we're lucky in this part of the country.
I like how you're cheating for the Google Hangout video.
That's right.
We're kind of sitting at a weird, askew kind of position, but it's all good. We're going to talk about the things you need to do before you start your company.
That's right.
Get you ready for that.
We're going to give you no excuses.
Sweat Equity Podcast for iTunes, Stitcher. Make sure to give us a review. Give us a 5-star. That's all we care about. We're doing this for the love of the game to help those in need. It's funny. I have a lot of conversations with people like, hey, we do this podcast. It's about realistic kind of business advice. You should check it out. And it's amazing how many people don't take the extra 3 seconds.
Yep.
It took me a while too. Don't get me wrong. It took me a while to go, just do it right now. While people are talking to me, make sure to make a note. If I say I'm going to send an email, don't do it later. Just do it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. The hack I came up with for this, I don't know where I got it from, but is to text it to myself. If I do that, I always check my text messages from myself, like randomly throughout the day, to see what the last thing was.
Really?
It's almost like a note to myself. Yeah, and it works.
That's a weird.
I tell people in conversation, it makes you look good too, because you're like, oh, that's awesome. I'll text that to myself, and you do it, and they're like, oh man, he's really paying attention.
Really?
Yeah.
Try it. No, I don't like texts. I don't like texts because they're too fleeting. Because texts aren't for business for me. I hate when clients text me. I don't like any kind of like formal thing. I don't like text because I'll read it while I'm driving, go blah, and then you leave all the text to yourself unread.
Yeah, I'll leave them unread. So when I see that I have one there, I go to it, and then it's also a reminder because I'll scroll up and be like, what didn't I do that I texted myself earlier?
I don't know, man. I get the email to yourself because that's a little bit more. I feel like text is too impulsive.
I don't know.
All right,
each his own, right?
You have a system at least.
Yeah, I think that's the key.
That's more than most.
But it also bails me out in those conversations where instead of people being too pressing, that's the one I'm a big. I hate when you're watching a YouTube video and someone's like, oh, check this video out. It's like, I'm not here to hang out with you. I don't want to do this now.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a wormhole, right? I hate that. But
it's like when I used to live in Venice Beach and they give you there's a bunch of dudes trying to pimp their albums. And you're like, dude, I'm just going for a run on the Strand. Just fucking leave me alone. Yeah. They're worse than the Vegas pornography guys.
The best thing about the guys doing the albums is they put it in your hand. And then you're like, oh, cool, thanks, man. They're like, yeah, that's $5.
Yeah,
you put it in my hand, dude. I didn't.
They're like, it's free. No, they'll tell you it's free too. And then they're like, you want to make a $15 donation? You're like, I don't even have pants. Like, I'm wearing running shorts. I didn't have any money on me. I'm carrying my key in my hand because that's all I don't have an extra pocket. So, all we're asking is go on iTunes and give us a 5-star review. So. One of the lessons we were going to kind of give out there, and I stole this from the granddaddy of podcasting, Adam Carolla, was just he talks about just doing shit right then and there.
Yep.
And I've adopted that in my life where I did it the other day where someone was like, "Oh, I don't have a card," and I was like, "That's fine. What's your email? I'll email you right now. That's better than a card."
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, a lot of people go, "I gave out a bunch of business cards." It's like. Yeah, but you don't own the power of their contact.
Exactly, yeah.
Now the power's in their hands to follow up. So
yeah, you don't want the ball in their court. Not much is going to get done.
That's kind of sales 101 stuff. But before we get into all this, you've got a sponsor for the episode?
Yeah, we've got another. We have a sponsor, another one from Waterloo Washrooms. They are one of TocoWorks companies that TocoWorks has helped out to get things going off the ground. You guys need to check them out if you need any luxury mobile washrooms for any events that you have going on, whether it be a concert, a music festival, or what do we have here that we use them for? Pig Jig is one of them. That's a local event here. It's kind of a barbecue competition / music festival.
If you're filming something, if you've got a nice house and you're redoing bathrooms or something that involves that kind of that kind of big over house remodel or commercial construction, and you don't want to use porta potties for everybody. Sometimes you have the trailers or you have the designers, architects, the execs that come in.
Oh yeah.
And you have the portalets for, the workers and whatnot. Maybe municipalities, maybe you're a municipality that wants to use it. We've talked about using it out at the beach during the summertime.
Yes,
when it gets really high around July 4th, where there's so many people out there that the typical bathroom just can't handle it. And let's face it, the public bathroom's not so great already. So there's a lot of, when there's more demand on those like concrete, you can't steal anything in this bathroom at the beach kind of deal. This is where they can come in and slide in.
It's like a step up from like a prison restroom.
It really is. It's
There's
bad.
no toilet seat.
It's bad times when you're like, this is the state we're in. Yep. I feel like it wasn't that bad maybe 30 years ago, but who knows?
Yeah.
I
wasn't there.
I didn't look at any photography of like beach bathrooms from 1986, but Waterloo washrooms, it's luxury restrooms. They're portable. They're good for outdoor weddings, good for festivals. And if they can't get you in the Tampa Bay area, they will probably hook you up with who's valuable around the country, because we've been doing our market research.
That's right.
Aggressive expansion might be on the way. Who knows?
That's right.
WaterlooWashrooms.com. Check them out. It's urgency solved elegantly.
Oh,
yeah, that's the.
Was
slogan.
that on the fly?
That's the slogan. No,
okay.
no. We came up with that though.
I was about to say, we get you on 106 in Park, man. Jeez.
Yeah. Urgency solved elegantly. Yeah, that's
Nice.
That's all my business partner Josh Spinar is doing.
Nicely done. Well, so now that we've got that out of the way with the sponsor, I guess we should say anybody who is looking to sponsor an episode, you can reach out to us. Law is going to beautifully lay out the amazing email address.
law@tocworks.com or Caleb CALEB@tocworks.com.
Woo!
I'm not going to repeat it. You can go back 15 seconds and do that.
That's right.
If you need to email us or you want us to talk about something, we're always up to it. And that goes directly to us. So there are no secretaries getting involved in that.
That's right.
And so
straight to the top.
We wanted to talk about we have a lot of friends that we've talked about it lightly when we've done these podcasts, and we've thrown in good nuggets. We don't have a guest today. We try to have a guest every episode, but scheduling conflicts are tough.
That's right.
We're both very busy, so we try to do this on Sundays, Saturdays, and at night. Tough for a lot of people. We wanted to talk about the Ralphie May rule of being prepared to be ready.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of friends that are doing a side business. I did it for a while before I came up with a consulting company.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where what advice, and we do this a lot. You and I talk to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
You may be somewhere in the midst of this with an idea kind of around the corner. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to outkick my coverage, but I say there's a lot of stuff you need to do before you really start. Unless you have a shitload of money.
Well, and here's and this is I guess kind of the reason for the episode is that you just need to start. Okay, and we'll get a little more into that as the episode goes on. But these are some of the things that you can be doing. You probably need to be doing in order to start your own business. And this is kind of these are the prerequisites,
okay,
which I'm butchering right now because for some reason my tongue doesn't want to work. But these are the things you need to be doing before you actually go around and launch. Let's say launch your company, your small business, whether it's a service, a product, tangible good, whatever that may be. These are some of the things you need to have in place before you can kick things off.
So what are the vitals? Where to start?
So you got to have an idea first, okay? And you need to you've got to come up with something that that's got a little consistency to it. And I'll start out. I hate using quotes. Okay, we've talked about this before, but there's two that I'm going to share, and one I'm going to share at the beginning of this. And it's by Peter Thiel, the guy who founded PayPal. And his quote is, "Beginning with a brand rather than substance is dangerous, And I think that is one of the truest things. There's a lot of Me Too brands out there and companies that people just they want to be a part of something. They see something visual put in front of them with a graphic and some font over it, and oh man, I can do that on my Instagram account. Man, we can really make this a brand. This is really cool visually and aesthetically, easy to look at and catchy. And that's not a company. Okay, that's just that you can fill up your Instagram or your social media with those kind of things and brand yourself the way you kind of want to be perceived. But if you have a company, it's got to be something with some substance. You've got to be filling a need. You've got to have a product or service, some sort of tangible good that's going to make a difference or make something easier for somebody. So let's start. Let's start with that. If you've gotten that far, you're ahead of the game. Okay,
I'll play devil's advocate on it.
Go ahead.
Well, what about like? What about?
Don't say that. If you say the word lifestyle brand, we're done.
There you go. I follow.
No,
I'm trying to think of a good example. I follow Fuck Jerry on Instagram. That guy's hilarious. He's making a living doing that. I follow the Fat Jewish, or that guy is making a living stealing other people's material.
Right.
Why can't I do that? Why is that not a thing?
That is a thing.
Barely though.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is what's sad is that. To anyone with any common sense or common knowledge, that shouldn't be a thing, and that's where I think it kind of gets skewed a little bit, and that's where it goes back to substance. Would you rather look through Fuck Jerry's profile, or would you rather watch Louis C.K. stand-up special? Would you rather watch, if you want to talk about comedy and entertainment, it's they're two different grades of doing these things, or of where you're getting this, this fulfillment from.
Well, eventually in the long run, yes, maybe these two guys are making money being Instagram stars, and there's Vine stars, and there's Snapchat stars. There's Twitter celebrities, all this stuff. But in the long run, it's not going to work. And we're seeing the bloom come off the rose for the Fat Jewish, where he's stealing material.
Right.
Your material if you are to be an entertainer, and the way he's trying to be, and I do stand-up comedy. I've been doing it for 10 years. The guys that steal, there's no cover bands in comedy, and he knows it, but he's stealing from unknowns.
Right.
And it's easier to do than it used to be in the 80s, where Robin Williams would come in and lift material at the Comedy Store. Because he had to be there.
But now everyone's got the exposure.
You can there's good jokes out there. You just got a content farm is my favorite term. And so he procures good jokes, but he's already trying to make money off of this venture with other things. And he goes, well, I don't need that. I can do my own. And you go, well, all right, just tell me some jokes. And it's like, well, I do my own thing. Like I get in a vat of guacamole. And it's like, that's not a joke. That's not even like that absurdist like anymore. Maybe in the 50s that would be like, whoa. But what's guacamole?
Yeah.
In the 50s. But my thing is like, eventually that's kind of an anomaly, that kind of situation where he's making something out of nothing.
Well, there's
the PewDiePie guy. I don't get it.
Well, I think kind of with these social media celebrities, I think that's kind of a little bit of a different realm. But
I think that's the best case of having a brand without really having anything.
Yeah, I mean the content has to be there. No, I mean here let me put it this way. If he just made an Instagram profile that just said the Fat Jewish, 0 posts, how many people does he have following him?
Right, 0.
You know what I'm saying? So without the post, unfortunately, that is the substance that he's...
Maybe a couple chubby chasers that love rabbis.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, if he's got a profile picture up there, he may get a couple follows. But without having his substance, or lack thereof in his case, having any posts, no one's going to follow him. So you've got to have that idea out there before you can really put yourself out there. So one of the things that I see a lot, at least in our landscape down here where we're based out of, which is Tampa, Florida, Ybor the city. So check out the hashtag on Instagram. A lot of cool stuff.
Trigger City.
That's right. Used to be Treasure City, which we may bring back. I like Treasure City.
All right.
I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, so one of the things we've kind of seen, or at least myself, is that people are starting like clothing companies just kind of based on just like, oh man, that's a cool design. I'm going to start a clothing company off of that. And it's kind of like, well, I feel you need to have some sort of mission first. You know what I mean? You need to have some sort of purpose behind it. Maybe it starts with the inspiration starts from something aesthetically, but you can't just say we're going to be a clothing company. There's too much competition out there, and the odds of you making it to it being profitable on something like that with no mission behind it and no purpose behind it, man, it's going to be tough. I mean, that's going to be something that's real. Can it be done? Absolutely, because you see new players in the market all the time. But how many do you see that you don't even notice they're not there anymore?
Yeah, I'm thinking of my business school kind of just break down a strategy, and it was basically you have you're either low cost, or you're usually premium cost, your differentiation. So if you're low cost, you're the Walmart shirts.
Yeah.
If you're differentiation, you're the soft kind of. I'm going t-shirts because that's something we're working on as a sub brand.
Right.
For us, you're going with the nice, really heather gray, soft. You can wash it a billion times; it still looks good.
Yep.
And graphic design, and then there's a mixture of that. So those are the two basic ones that everybody kind of knows, and then the third one is kind of localized.
Right.
And so that usually appeals more to like restaurants and hair salons, auto service, these typical things you see in almost every strip mall.
Right, yeah.
And so with clothing, we thought no one, and this goes back to what we talked about before we got into the branding part of that, was, well, there is a need in this area, in the Tampa Bay area, for something loyal to the area, because there's not much that exists. It looks good.
Yeah, and
so that's the business 101. Find the vulnerability and strike. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and the first things that come to mind for me that they don't gel. I would love for there to be a clothing line that is kind of just almost as native as we are.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Something that we can relate to, and that sort of thing. And the first thing that comes to mind for me down here is this company, the Flow Grown thing. Flow Grow. Flow. I can't stand it. I hate it. The stickers, all this kind of stuff. It's ridiculous. And I think it's almost that it's the new No Fear. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is to me. So I won't spend any more of my breath on Flow Grown, but don't stuff like that. I don't. There's not much to be said for it, but the things you can be doing right now to start your own business.
Okay. Some practical advice.
Once you're
talking philosophically. Now, but
once you've got something with some substance, you need to figure that out on your own. Go maybe read The Obstacle is the Way, something like that. Figure something out for yourself. But the first thing you need to do is once you have your company name is you need to set up your LLC. Down here in Florida, it's going to be sunbiz.org is the website you're going to use to do that. You can file a fictitious name, something that you can use for your company name so you're acting as your company instead of yourself.
Yep.
But you need to get your articles of organization in place. That's something that takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes on the website. You fill out, you pay your $125 to $150
for pretty much wherever you are. You can go on LegalZoom, and you can do it for somewhere. They add a percentage, so depending on how shitty your state's kind of submission online is, they all LegalZoom does is take a vig off of turbo taxing that process.
Yep.
They make it a lot easier. I wish they were sponsors of ours, but it's $175 or something to get an LLC. What does that do? It protects you. It's a limited liability corporation. Not a lot of people know that. And so it's one of those things where if you get sued, you don't want to be, I'm trying to figure out a best way to say this.
It puts separation between you personally and your company.
Yes.
So that if anything happens, if you get sued, if you have some sort of copyright infringement you weren't aware of, if you didn't do your due diligence on something in one aspect of your business or another, and someone comes after you, they can only go after your business.
Right.
They can't go after your personal assets. They can't go after your house, your family, anything like that. Monetarily speaking, to collect damages or anything they feel they're owed. only your business. So it kind of protects you on a personal level and gives you some separation from yourself and your business.
Right. And here are my two things when you start that it's boring. Look, this is boring shit, but it's not like
if you haven't turned it off yet, though, you've got what you need to keep going.
Neither
so
of these
thanks
things,
for sticking with us.
neither of these first two things are going to be hard, but
Right.
It's almost necessary. And just think about it in an American standpoint. We know so much stuff around what we do surrounds the court system and legally binding, and you can't really do. There's no freewheeling days anymore. Like,
no,
there's only more litigation going on than ever.
It's only going to get. There's only going to be more steps and more of a process to any of this stuff.
So my thing is, like, when we started this company, I want good representation and I want a good accountant.
That's right.
An accountant, if you want to start looking and try to project sales, try to project what's your actual cost, QuickBooks is pretty inexpensive for you to get started. I think it's like $10 a month.
And I think QuickBooks is even a few steps past, kind of the things we're gonna touch on here. No, you don't think so?
I would start there because you can. It's now good enough to project stuff where you can go, all right, I want to get to this. I want to get to this level. How do I do that? And I'd also say use mint.com to do that as well. If you have some business transactions, we do it. We aggregate all those, and then we tag everything. And we go, okay, what's taxable, what's not?
Right.
And then we know our real price of what's going on per month. It's boring. Look, but getting the...
It may be, and you know what? I don't think it is. I don't think it is boring. I think hopefully if you found this episode and you... are wanting to start your own business.
I hate it, dude. I hate doing accounting, but I know you have to do it.
Well, it shouldn't be boring though. That's my thing. It's like, do you like doing it? No, but dude, this is a livelihood of your business,
right? And that's how I
you
get
better
fired
make
up
this
to do
shit
it.
fun.
I try to set it. I go every Monday night. Just do this.
There you go.
I got in a habit of that, and that's how we keep doing things.
Yeah.
Where it's a lot of this is discipline. We've talked about that on other episodes. A lot of trying to run your own business is getting in these disciplines. And if you're trying to run a business right now, it's likely you're doing a full-time job, and then on top of that, you're trying to do something else.
Yeah.
Which means that's another 10 to 40 hours a week you're working on something else.
Right. And doing these things that we're going to kind of go down is it's going to make it a lot easier for you in the long run. You can't really do much as far as taking payments and becoming a real business that's presentable to people without being registered on Sunbiz, having a tax ID number.
If you're in Florida.
Yeah, if you're from Florida, having a tax ID number. These are things you need to do. So I would say the first place to start is either going to be your corresponding website per
state.
Yeah, per state, or going on LegalZoom like Law had mentioned.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be your one-stop shop to get everything done that you need to get in order to get incorporated and to get the ball rolling.
Now just get the LLC, and all you need is an EIN.
Yeah.
That's all you
need.
need.
The EIN's essentially your tax ID number.
Right. Those are the only things you need. The thing with these sites is it's all upsell.
Yeah, exactly.
Same with QuickBooks and Mint.com. It's all they're all trying to upsell because it's a low. That once they get you in, now they can talk to you a bunch.
Exactly. Yep.
And you think everything's important.
It's the website's a vessel for them.
Yeah.
So the next thing you need to do, you need to have logo and branding. Okay. And why is it important to go ahead and start with start with LegalZoom and to get incorporated and everything first? Well, if you have logo and branding and someone wants to use your product or service, unless what you're doing is completely under the table, which puts you literally in the same room as a drug dealer, essentially. Just being off the grid, tax wise and being recognized as a business. Your logo and branding does not matter. So that's why logo and branding is gonna fall under kind of the second step of what you need to do. And it's important that you get something I think that works for you now. Do not, and I can't really stress this enough. I think everything we've mentioned on this show for logo and branding thus far has been kind of pertaining to people who already have their company going.
Yeah,
it's logo and branding is very important to something to continue with a sustainable business that is going to be producing revenue and that's going to be in front of a lot of eyes, right now, you just want to get started.
Yep.
You want to put something out there and you want to start. That's going to be a theme with every single step is just start, okay? It does not matter as much as you think when you're first getting going that, man, nobody likes my logo, or man, my branding's inconsistent. Those are enormous taboo things down the road. But right now, when you're starting out, when you're just trying to get a reason to get out there and shake some hands and introduce some people, pass out some business cards, it doesn't matter. Okay, so just get yourself a logo, get yourself some branding. Where are some places you can do that?
All right, so before I give you the spots, I'm going to give you a couple. Just I could do a whole podcast just on this because I've had 5 conversations in the last week with clients of ours about what's right for them. So
Right.
like a law firm, pretty easy. All you need is the typography.
Yep.
They don't keep it conservative. Same with doctors' offices.
You don't need a scale like Lady Justice with the scales.
That's fine. You can do that. I mean, that works. But I'm
Right.
saying, like, you don't need a fucking lion. You don't need your own kind of lion. You don't need, like, a flaming, like, arrow in the night. Like, you don't have
the
to be,
lion's mane on fire
when
thing.
Think of, like, the stuff that was very professional 50 years ago. And
Still works.
Yeah, you don't need
It still plays.
You don't need a badass logo if you're a dentist, a doctor, or an attorney.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going a little bit avant-garde, if you're maybe you're maybe you do
Like a different
I
type
was
of
going to say cosmetology, but that's not
like
right.
like a plastic surgeon.
Plastic
you do
surgery,
something a
that's
little
what
bit different. I
I
can
was
tell
going
what
in
you're
that-
getting at.
I was going in that realm. Yeah, you might be able to get a little bit fancier, but even then, you want to associate that with kind of I want a boring guy to do this surgery.
Yeah.
You know, like I want the biggest fucking nerd, so I don't want the sexiest kind of logo and all that stuff.
Right.
In Florida, it's corny for those guys, but you want to keep it simple. You want it to articulate what y'all are. That's the
Exactly.
hard part, but keep it simple. My cocktail napkin strategy is if I can't draw what it looks like on a piece of paper, it's not like to show someone else.
Yeah.
It probably isn't the best thing.
It's a little too complex. Yeah.
If people keep asking what's that, like they ask what ours is, it's a campfire logo. That actually turns into, but it's scalable, so it works.
Absolutely.
And then it turns into a conversation. Well, we're consultants, but we collaborate, like sitting around a campfire, kind of collaborating.
Right.
So it ties in, and then I can use Ignite and Kindle and all these kind of verbs that work with thinner kind of or motif. All right. So here's where you want to go. You want to go, if you're real cheap, Fiverr.com.
Yep.
Now what they're going to do, it's $5. I can't believe people still don't know about Fiverr.
Yeah, it's really tough having conversations with people because you tell them, man, it's $5 and you get to pick. You know, you hire someone to do your job, they give you a couple options, and bam, you're out the door.
You get what you pay for.
You get
It's
what
gonna
you
be
pay
template.
for, but you're ready to go.
Right. It's
You're
going to look
done.
more professional.
Right.
Try to go flat. That was the other thing I meant to say. Flat, simple. You can hand draw it if you had to. It's not going to look the same if you hand draw it, but if you had to explain what your logo looked like.
Exactly.
That's all I mean.
Yeah.
But flat. No 3D. 3D's kind of out unless it's shadowing. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go any further. I can go further.
We're just hitting the basics here for the people that you need to. The point is you need to get going.
You have one color, that's your main color. You have a
Exactly.
backup color, that's contrast.
Yep.
Now, if you need to look somewhere for all this, look at all NFL teams.
I think that's a great example.
Every NFL team has a dominant color, and then the color, their second color is something that contrasts with that. Minnesota Vikings, dark purple.
Yep.
A yellow that contrasts with it, so you can you can look at it.
And actually, I want to say all of the NFL teams. There's something with the color palette that they are like the perfect opposite or contrast of each color, and it does something visually stimulating to
Oh, there's a whole science behind
Yeah,
this.
there's a whole thing behind it.
So,
We won't get into that.
Yeah, but you want something contrasting. Otherwise, if you're trying to put some kind of font, if you have dark purple and dark blue, and you have dark blue lettering over your dark purple, you can't fucking read it. Like, I don't understand how fucking people can't understand that.
They're like, yeah, but these are two really cool colors. I like
It
these.
doesn't
Like,
work.
Don't put them next
Use
to each
white.
other.
Use white. Fine,
Yeah.
whatever. But all right. So Fiverr.com. You can go on 99designs.com, which
Absolutely.
it's a cool idea, but you end up getting kind of worked on this. Here's why. They say you can pay $99 for a logo, and you have a bunch of people, graphic designers, bidding to do it.
Yep.
So you get a lot of looks. That's great. And
Yeah.
it's quick too. That's the good part. The other part is the shittier people you pay $99 to.
Yeah.
The better people you're going to pay $6.99 to $2,000 just for the logo. We're not even
Right.
talking about the rest of the branding stuff. So
Right.
so in a pinch it works. I don't, and you might not even get the design you're looking for because this is really hard to articulate.
Right.
And so that's why we have like a branding questionnaire. If you ever need that, you can go through our cycle of everything. But,
Right.
All right, 99 Designs, Fiverr. We've got Dribbble
Dribbble. Yeah.
with 3 Bs.
Yeah.
That's always great. There's the Creative Market, which is kind of template based, so you can buy template and try to mess with it.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I'm going to tell you, if you're really trying to do it on the cheap, you got to find a designer. Now, here's like a buddy.
Yeah.
I guarantee everybody's got a couple friends that are doing this on the side.
I see it all the time. Someone's making a Facebook status. Does anyone know a graphic designer? I just need a quick logo.
Now, here's the problem.
Pay
them.
Yeah.
Pay them.
That's the biggest thing too, is when you let people do stuff for free. Yeah, I'm not going to charge you, no worries. You're going to get that kind of work back sometimes, and you're not going to get the correspondence that you want as well.
Set up the terms ahead of time. Go, hey, here's when I expect like the first iteration.
Yeah.
If you can give me 3 or 4 looks, great. Go a month from now. If
But
you're doing it cheaply.
Yeah, and even explain to them the situation. Look, I'm trying to get this company set up. I want to get started. I want to get going. I'm inspired. I've got my motor running. I've got the juices flowing. Whatever you want to say that gets you in that mode, go ahead and say it. Put that little saying in your head. But the bottom line is you need to get started, okay? So get that design. Get that person to send that to you. If you want to wait a month, wait a month. If you tell them, hey, I kind of need this by this weekend or I need it next week, I'm trying to get going, trying to get to these next steps that we're going to get to here, then do that. But pay them because they're going to drag their feet. It's human nature for some of these people.
It happens with everybody I talk to.
All the time.
And then make sure you get the design, the editable file too.
Yeah. Good advice. And maybe can you just touch on that, why that's important for them? It should be obvious. But
that's going to be important because you don't want them to hold it hostage on both sides, either online or a buddy of yours offline. And then you may take it. This is kind of patchwork. All this stuff is not the most professional way to do it, but look at it like building a house. And, I just bought a house in October. There's some stuff we're not going to do for a while, but it's going to be this way for a little bit.
Right.
We're not going to do the garage immediately because that's going to be about $5-10 grand. We're just going to keep it as a storage unit until we do it. So think of it that way, where you want the editable file because then maybe you hand it to, our company or a real professional and they enhance the branding that you already have.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be as hard.
All right. So we're gonna back up here real quick and we're gonna go through what we've got so far. We've got something that has some substance. We have a mission. We have a purpose. We've gone to LegalZoom or our corresponding state website in order to start our LLC or to become incorporated, and we've done that. Okay, we've got our logo, we've got our branding, and now it leads us kind of to our next step with setting up your website. Okay, these next 2 steps can be kind of interchangeable. I would start with setting up the website before social media.
Yeah.
Some people would set up their social media before their website. Here's why I would do the website first. Okay. With your website, we've said it before in past episodes, your website is what is going to help you sell for you.
Yep.
Okay. Your social media is going to inform and it's going to attract, and your website's going to sell. If you're not ready to sell, you're not ready to inform.
Yep.
Okay. So don't go inform somebody of this great product or this great service that you have, and they say, well, how can I get it? Oh, we'll go to our web. We don't have a website.
Right.
Okay. So that's where you'll get stuck, and you're gonna
DM me.
Yeah. You're gonna be excited. You're gonna want to get the word out there. This will pay off for you in this early process. Get the website up. Maybe even a subset before the website. Set up a business account at your bank. You can't set that business account up unless you have a tax ID number or EIN number.
Yep.
Okay. So that's going to be really important when you go on LegalZoom. That's why you have to do that first, because you won't be able to do these next steps.
How much does that cost?
to set up your
that's what everybody asks.
to set up the business account.
Yeah.
Most banks, if you set up a business account, it should be between $100 and $300 of a minimum opening deposit. It should be really simple. I personally, for my business, I use SunTrust, and it's really, really easy to work with. Setting up that business account comes with checks, comes with a debit card. It's really, really simple.
I've done Chase, I've done PNC, I've done Bank of America, we currently use a regional one called US Ameribank.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult. It does take time though. If you're trying to get it started, a lot of this stuff is project management, and you chip away at it a little bit every day. You follow up with a graphic designer. You kind of start the website. You have the first talk at the bank and your lunch break. That kind of stuff.
But guess what?
What?
You've started.
Yeah.
Okay. You've started. So keep that in mind. So set up your business account. You're gonna want something that links to your website.
Yep.
Okay. You're gonna need to use that business account. Maybe now set up a PayPal account, because PayPal is gonna be looking at me because I know he's got something that probably works a little better. But PayPal is something that's going to link. So just something along those lines, though, right?
PayPal, Stripe.
Stripe, absolutely.
Yeah, those kind of things. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to pay you.
Exactly.
Eliminate the amount of steps.
The more steps, the easier it is for them to walk away. I've done it a million times.
Amazon Payments, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay.
Yep.
Do it all if you can, if you need to. I mean, it's a little bit more grunt work for you, but it's going to improve your sales. It's all about ROI.
Yep.
So, Venmo as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I think we've found, the web platform that is easiest to use and probably links with all of those options of obtaining payment is going to be Squarespace.
Yeah.
So get on Squarespace, sign up for an account. If it's not free, it's $20 a month, right? Somewhere around there. Or is it free?
It starts at, if you want to do month to month, it starts at 10.
10? Oh, I mean, dude, we're talking about $10 a month.
When you start doing the e-commerce, if you're really trying to sell something,
right, a product, a
product via the e-commerce, I think it's $20.
Okay.
If you do it annually, I think it's something like $160 a year.
So this is something that is definitely doable. This should definitely be within your opening operating budget for getting this thing off the ground and getting this thing started.
There's other options. I don't recommend them, but I'm going to give them out there. There's the
We're going to let you fail anyways.
The grid is actually pretty sweet. It's an interesting idea. It looks a lot like Squarespace. I don't know the back end as well, but it does do AI. It does a lot of AI stuff. So
interesting.
That might be too advanced for a lot of people that we're giving this advice to.
Well, I'm gonna check it out. I think that's pretty.
You've got Wix, you've got WordPress, you've got One-in-One. I don't recommend any of these really over Squarespace, but again, email us and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's good to give people options as well. What may be easy for one person might not be easy for someone else. So you've got your website. You need to get that up, okay? And now, all right, so you've got what you need, okay? You've got your EIN number. You've got your LLC. We're just going to go back through this again. You've got your logo and branding. You've got your business account set up. And you've got your website, okay? So you've made all of these things. It's time for social media, okay? Get on your social media. You guys, this is the early stage. Use the same logo that you got from Fiverr 99 Designs of your friend. Put that everywhere. Put that on the website. Put that on all your social media pages. You don't need to differentiate a lot of different things here. In fact, it's best to be as consistent as possible, even if that means using the same exact logo over and over and over in these early stages, because you need to create brand identity, whether you're trying to do it or not. You need it. Okay. And keep in mind, these early stages, this isn't something that these things don't have to last forever. Okay. And you shouldn't plan for them to. You should plan for this stuff to change once you've started making a little money, once you can reinvest some of, your early profits back into the company. These are things that you should go back and change.
Yep.
Now that's where a company like Toco Works comes in.
Woo woo.
Okay. That's where you branch out a little bit and you start to get a little more analytical, come up with a little more of a strategy. These are the things you need to be doing early on, though, just to go ahead and start. Okay?
This is where we'd bring you in. We'd have you on a video chat.
Right.
We had the video up, and Caleb couldn't see himself. I didn't realize that until just now. But
there's not much to see here. Okay.
It's one of those things where your social media, each account should have its own different strategy. So, give me a business, and I'll throw me a business.
Let's go with something like the Scouting Block.
All right, Scouting Block. And how would you describe the Scouting Block?
Scouting Block is a recruiting service for high school baseball players. We would produce recruiting videos for high school baseball players to send to colleges to help them gain exposure.
So here's the thing. So Facebook is the good start. Everybody kind of knows how to navigate that. That to me is kind of like the catch-all of all social media. So you're gonna put up bios, and you're gonna put up video, and you're gonna put up alerts of when the next thing you're gonna be filming at.
Oh yeah.
And you're gonna make events out of that.
Yep.
That's the main one. Now, Pinterest, are you going to get any interest out of that? Probably not.
Not with the demographic for the Scouting Block, but for some people out there, Pinterest.
But you have your market's really the parents.
Correct.
So it might behoove you to kind of throw out stats on how the Scouting Block might save them money for their child athlete.
Yeah. We'll just save them money, give them more of an edge, give them a better chance to gain exposure.
Maybe you do a mom of the month. Maybe say, hey, this is a super mom right here.
Repin this mom.
Exactly. Look at what she did. Look at what she's doing. She's working 3 jobs to make sure her son can play and trying to get to the next level.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like that you can do. Or this mom is the mom that took everybody everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's that. Now we almost dismiss Pinterest completely because it's so female heavy, but we forget your real market is the parents. We want the parents to get involved.
Yeah, in this case, it is. It's whoever has the power of the dollar and the buying. The decisions.
Now, Instagram, you already do Instagram. You do inspirational posts, which I think are great.
I think
people like that.
For the market, it's great. I personally don't. It's one of those things, and this is going to be tough. Kind of down the road when you've got to realize this is a little kind of not very much next level, but you've got to realize what your target market is into and kind of the things that they attract to. For mine, it's it's high school kids and athletes, and they love inspirational posts. They love quotes. They love the story of the underdog and all that sort of stuff. And I think everyone does. I think it gets a little overplayed sometimes by a lot of you just I don't know.
Also use that.
I don't want to go on a tangent, but
also use the inspirational quotes on Pinterest. There's no reason that can't get spread across baseball moms everywhere.
Oh no, absolutely, and I think that's a great point too. Is that the quotes on Pinterest? I think it seems like quotes and rustic furniture go forever.
Shabby
on
chic,
Pinterest.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah, you mix the two of those and you're cold.
On Instagram, also, your collateral should be a lot of videos under 30 seconds. Here's a slick highlight that we cut. And it's going to be, part of this is going to be when you're doing these videos, you're going to be like, all right, this is going to be a great 30-second for Instagram. Here's a 5-second for Vine. Here's, I'm not sure, I don't know Snapchat as well, but I know video does play on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that skews so young that you may just want to have these quick videos and nothing else. Yeah,
and Snapchat's kind of developing into being its own kind of animal. I think Snapchat themselves are still figuring out uses for themselves.
But it's going to have an advertising network eventually.
Yeah. Oh gosh, and the reach is.
They made
incredible.
a deal with Viacom, I think.
Oh, I didn't know. About that.
Yeah, so it's in the works. So it's something to keep your eye on.
Well, and it's definitely for the younger demographic. I'd say Snapchat is for the young kids who just get a phone. Let's say it's 14 or 15, maybe younger these days. That's your decision, parents out there. But going to be in that age range, probably all the way up to young professionals. I know I have Snapchat. I'm going on 28.
Now I go LinkedIn just for appearance sake. For the parents to know your resume.
Starting LinkedIn groups, all those sort of things.
I go Medium, Tumblr when you really have a blog post on the website that you want on these other mediums. I put it on every time you do a blog post. I put the same blog post on Medium, Tumblr, and even Reddit.
Maybe explain, if you can, what Tumblr is and maybe why it's effective for people. Because I think Tumblr is one of those things where you'll see that someone shared something on Facebook from Tumblr, but you don't know what Tumblr is.
So Tumblr, it's kind of just mostly, I think a lot of it's blogging, but
Yeah.
it can also just be sloppy, like funny pictures
And
and
does
stuff.
does it just consolidate things from the web that
No, just people put stuff on Tumblr. So I think it
Okay.
started. Its Nexus really started as a blogging site, like a blogging social media,
okay.
and then Medium came along, and Medium's really like the classy one.
Yep.
It's like real restricted, and then Tumblr's kind of the sloppy one.
Yeah.
And I think Tumblr's owned by Yahoo, and so like they're brothers, but they're different.
Yeah.
And Medium, you'll see stuff like reposted from there for people that don't have websites.
Right.
Same
right.
with Tumblr. A lot of people do Tumblr in lieu of having their own website, which is fucking insane to me. But
so let's run through these again for people with social media. When you're ready, you've got your website. Now it's time to get your social media out there. We've got
try to start with 2 or 3.
yeah.
You know,
And I think the main, let's start with the big 3. You've got Twitter, you've got Instagram, you've got Facebook.
well, we ignored the biggest one. It's not social media necessarily, but
Yeah.
it's your email list.
Well, and that's coming up next.
Okay.
And the reason it's coming up next is because with your email list, you want to drive people to your social media to inform and excite, which then drives to the website, which allows for purchasing, okay,
Right.
which sells.
Right. Yeah,
So-
it's one of those things. Email's still the most effective form. I
No
know
doubt.
people think it's dying, but
No.
you kind of think about it this way. Everybody still has to check email for bills. They still have to check it for really important stuff from work occasionally, even if it's not their work email.
Your email gets more of your attention than you realize.
Right. And a good decent kind of open rate on emails is 15 to 20%.
Yeah.
Now
I would say that's strong. No?
that's pretty good, yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
But it's all about the subject line. If you can
Yep.
have a good subject line that gets people involved, I like to do something that's almost intriguing to the point where they want to open it up to see it. So a fun fact, or like, here's the new thing we're rolling out.
Yep.
Like don't give everything up on the first date. And so MailChimp is the best to use.
Yeah, I was gonna say give them kind of the rundown maybe on MailChimp and the effectiveness.
Super easy to
Yeah.
use, very friendly. Like it has videos and everything. Same with Squarespace. Both
Yeah.
are very easy to use when you log in. And MailChimp's free until you get over 2,000 emails. And
Yeah.
so you an email list of 1,900 people is still pretty strong.
That's really strong.
And if you do it like some sloppy people do, they'll have just several email accounts just emailing out instead of paying for it every
Yeah.
month. So I mean, they know it. They know people do that. It's not too uncouth.
Well, guys, keep in mind this is the starting phase. Okay,
Yeah.
if something's free or something's low of cost, and they're giving you 1,900 an email list of 1,900, abuse that.
Yeah.
Go for it, because we're trying to start making dollars happen right now. Okay, in this early phase, so that they can be reinvested and the company can hopefully grow young.
Yeah.
I mean, and we'll get into this in later episodes too, but there's a difference between your company growing young and growing old. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then they just came up with a new feature. You can literally just take a picture from your phone and send it out to your email subscribers.
I mean,
So
doesn't get you don't. The correspondence could not be easier with your fans, your followers, your email list.
And I'll tell you, like, dude, we use it, and a lot of it's just to remind people we're close to. Hey, we're around.
Yeah.
We're a service, so it's a little different.
Yep.
Product is, I think, easier to promote because you don't feel attached to it necessarily.
Yeah.
I feel like a service, we have to keep reminding people, hey, our family and friends, hey, I want you to be the first thing you think about when someone's like, we need some branding, or we need a social media strategy, or we need online advertising, or we need, whatever nerd shit a company needs. I want to be the fucking first thing on people's minds. So it's one of those things where even people in my family still don't understand. It's got to be that reminder. And then they start asking, oh, what do you guys do again? And then, but it opened that conversation because it's the same trope. I was with Fantetti Legal earlier today. We were going over their strategy, and I was telling them, look, man, it's going to be great. I can already see your group of friends and family are very involved. They're very excited for you to get this going. but we want you to be the top 5
That's
things
right.
they Google in their brain
That's right.
when they're thinking about business attorneys. When you eventually get into possibly another state
Yeah.
to do litigation in, we want to make sure they know about you already when that happens.
Yeah.
So it's about advertising frequency. It's going to take 8 to 10 times before someone actually pulls the trigger on something.
Yeah. Now, one of the big things too I want to make sure we talk about on MailChimp is you're probably sitting there, all right, I have an email list. Who can I put on this email list? All right, well, I've got my friends. I've got some family. You've got a lot more. If you've ever had a 9-to-5 job, you've got a lot more email contacts than you think. And one of the nice things about MailChimp is that you can take your Gmail, your Yahoo, your whatever email account you've used in the past that's been your personal email or your work email.
Yep.
You can export those contacts into MailChimp, and it will, bam, now you've got all of those consolidated in one place.
We did it today.
Yeah.
4 emails.
Yeah.
4 email accounts he's had. We did it all together. He got 970 emails out of it.
I mean, now you've got...
Took an hour.
You've got eyes in front of your product or service or business in front of that many eyes that is now saying, hey, guys, look what I'm doing now.
Right.
Whether they are your customers or not, they may know your customers.
Right.
That's an inner circle versus outer circle conversation, which is something that should come up. But that may be even a little bit a step past, what we're trying to do here, which again is just start. Okay. Set up the MailChimp accounts, export the contacts, come up with just some creative, clever content in the beginning to just let people know what you're doing. And if they want to, hopefully people want to join that mailing list. That mailing list is going to grow instead of shrink. But there are going to be people that are going to be asked to take off that mailing list because they have no interest in it, anything like that. And hey, man, we're sorry to lose you on our email list, but check out our social media.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to grab you on social.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to make sure we're in front of your face.
Exactly. So, these are just some quick tips and things that not that you should be doing, but that you have to do. Okay, at some point you're gonna have to do these things. And the reason we wanted to have this episode is because we talked to so many people who I'm
sending them this episode.
Yeah, and I think
wasting my breath.
I think this episode is gonna come down to, hey man, how do I do this? Listen to episode 16. I'm gonna email it to you. I'm gonna email it to you now since we're having this conversation. I'm not gonna text it to myself or wait for you to give me a business card or whatever. I'm gonna email it to you now. Go in your car, listen to that, and that's gonna have some good insight on the things you need to do before you really start to get into getting all the sales and selling and all those things. So again, this comes down to a few things. Once you've got a business that you believe has some substance, that you don't just have a brand, you have a mission and a purpose, and you have a why. From there, get incorporated. Start your LLC, get your EIN and your tax ID, get a logo and branding, something that works for you now. You can always change it. You're not married to it, but get something that works for you now. Simple, easy, and effective. Okay. Get your
train of thought.
I just can't. I wanted to go down a whole nother hole and I stopped myself.
Yeah,
because we're coming up on
we're getting
long-winded episode here. Hopefully you guys are still with us. So once you've got you've got your logo, your branding, something that works for you now, get your business account set up at the bank. Get a little $100 to $300 deposit in there. Get yourself going. Get yourself a website. Hit Squarespace. Something small, but you want to just start. Okay. Then you're ready for your self-promotion, okay? Your social media, your mailing list, something you can export, and now you've got eyes. Now you've created an audience, or you're creating your audience, and now you're finding people who, hey, I saw your email, or hey, I saw your social media. Want to learn more. Saw your website. How can we get started? How can we get rolling? Now you're going to start to make some money.
Yeah,
okay?
And it's one of those things, find a reason to get in people's faces every day.
Absolutely. So really what this comes down to is your determination. Your effort's going to determine your growth, okay? It's going to determine the pace you move at. If you want to move slow, don't put a lot of effort into it. You want to move quick, put some effort into this. Have your motor. CC episode 1, okay? And I wanted to end, like I said, I hate with these, with not that we're ending right this second, but I want to kind of
we're good.
Wrap up this long-winded episode of kind of tips and tricks to
Caleb
get yourself
dominant.
going.
I like it.
But another quote from the same guy, Peter Thiel, PayPal founder. Brilliant thinking is rare, but courage is in even shorter supply than genius. Okay. That sums up this episode.
Okay.
Okay. Courage is in even shorter supply than genius. Just freaking start. Okay? It's scary.
Don't be worried about being vulnerable.
Exactly. It's scary, man. You're going to take your shots. You're going to be in the trenches for a little while, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to work your way through it. Just get started. You don't have to have the most genius thoughts in the room. Okay?
And if you really need help, you can hit us up.
That's where we come in.
All right. That's it. That's the episode. Thanks for listening. 5-star review, iTunes. Caleb.
Love it.
All right. Love you.
See ya.
Bye.